What were your thoughts about Washington trading Jahan Dotson to the Philadelphia Eagles?
The hell are they thinking? The hell are they thinking? Not just. I mean, it's like for me, it's twofold. And we kind of talked about this a little bit before we went on. And you made a good point. You traded him in division to the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that doesn't need any more help, a team that's already the favorites to win the NFC East. They don't need help. And you gave them a bona fide number two who they're going to slide in the slot because they have two receivers better than him and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I mean, and this is coming off of acquiring Saquon Barkley in the offseason. You have a top six tight end in football in Dallas Goedert. I mean, they didn't need no help. They didn't need any more help. And you gave them some help. And I say it's twofold because why name yeah, like unless you can pull off getting Brandon Ayuk from the San Francisco 49ers, this was stupid. This was stupid. This almost defeats the purpose of making Jaden Daniels your QB1 if you're going to be trading his targets away. What's the point? You need your rookie quarterback to come in, develop chemistry with all his receivers to be as comfortable as possible, getting ready to lead this team into the 2024 season, and you're getting ready and you're trading his targets? Like, what are we doing? And it's not like Washington, it's not like they're going to be terrible on offense. I mean, they have weapons. They have Terry McLaurin, who's one of the most underrated wide receivers in the National Football League. You add Austin Eckler to Brian Robinson, who was really starting to break out the second half of 2023, was really starting to come into his own, getting the bulk of the touches, even though he was sharing them with Antonio Gibson at the time, who's an underrated player in his own right. So I don't know. It's just I don't know what Washington's thinking because I'm of the belief with Brandon Ayuk, he's either going to Pittsburgh or he's staying in San Francisco. That I'm of the belief for that. So Washington, they better have some type of plan up their sleeve because if they don't land Brandon Ayuk, I don't know what they're going to do with the wide receiver position outside of Terry McLaurin. Well, Curtis Samuel's still there, isn't he?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
They have De'Ami Brown.
Yeah, that's right. De'Ami Brown, that's right. Sorry. He slides in as the number two. That's right. And he
Well,
was.
overall, this is a horrible move on the part of Washington.
I
This is a
agree.
horrible move because, first of all, even if you were trying to pull off to get any wide receiver, even if no, this was a terrible move on the part of Washington. First of all, you trade him of all teams to the Philadelphia Eagles. Of all teams. Of all teams. Now the Eagles, they're loaded. They already they have Jalen Hurts. They have Saquon Barkley. They have A.J. Brown. They have Devontae Smith. Now with Jahan Dotson, who, by the way, isn't he from Penn State?
Oh yeah, he's a Penn State guy.
So I'll tell you this: they're like the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Either they're the Georgia Bulldogs or the Philadelphia Nittany Lions, because Howie
Right.
Roseman, for some reason, he pulls off all these moves. I don't know what he does, but he pulls it off, man. I'm I'm losing it. And for Washington, Terry McLaurin is our number one wide receiver, obviously, of course. But what do you say to Jaden Daniels? Unless you tell me we're getting Brandon Ayuk, and I don't think that's going to happen. I do not
Mhm.
think that is going to happen. What are you doing? I mean, you traded Chase Young. Not mad at that. But you traded Montez Sweat. I'm mad at that. Honestly, for me, I'd rather go forward with Montez Sweat than Chase Young. You know why? Because he's durable. He can get after the quarterback. He's long. He's athletic. He has talent. And he came off a great season last season in which he made the Pro Bowl and eventually got his money. Washington made another bad move in the draft, drafting Emmanuel Forbes over Christian Gonzalez. Oh, by the way, they couldn't even draft a tight end, which I advocated for them to draft Darnell Washington from your school, UGA, and they couldn't do that. So to me, they're not getting Brandon Ayuk. Washington is known for disaster and turmoil, and I can't stand this team because it's just a damn embarrassment. Unless you tell me they're going to trust the process because Josh Harris is a part of Philadelphia 76ers, unless you could pull that off, hey, by all means. But this is shit. Basura, garbage.
Well,
This is
well,
just
hell, if you,
pathetic on the
well,
part of
hell,
Washington. Pardon me for my language, folks, but this is utter bullshit that Washington pulled off this trade. I'm giving this a flat out F because
bro,
yet again,
bro.
Washington is trying to sell us that we're going to change, and it tells me it's going to take a while in order for the Commanders to actually do something. The only thing we finally done was got rid of Dan Snyder. Now we have Josh Harris and we have Magic Johnson. No.
Well, I mean, I feel like
Last couple of years, no. Not
I
that.
feel like I feel like this though, man. If they're trying that whole trust the process thing like the Philadelphia 76ers, you got to think the Philadelphia 76ers hadn't even made the Eastern Conference Finals yet. So I definitely don't trust them to do anything in Washington with the process they got right now.
I ain't
So
trusting them with Jack.
I'm telling you.
We got our boy Kieran in the building. What's up, Kieran? How you doing, man?
How we doing, guys?
Good, man. We just talking about the Jahan Dotson trade. What were your thoughts about that?
Um, I don't care. I don't care if you're a second-year player. I don't care if you're like a 12-year veteran. Like that guy from Philly is gonna try to trade for you, and I don't know how. I don't know why Washington would do this because Jahan Dotson's in his third year, like going into his third year, and obviously the only way he's going to get better if he plays, and he's probably not even going to play that much in Philly because their offensive talent is just so ridiculous. But hey, if like one of those guys going to go down, like Devontae Smith or AJ Brown, like I think Jahan Dotson for a game or two can be really good. So it's a win. It's a win for Philly, but an L for the Commanders. I have no idea what they're doing over there. Like, are they just like trying to get like is Terry next? Like, honestly, because
That's what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to get rid of all their players so that they can draft and develop other younger players. But what what are they selling?
yeah, I
I
just don't
mean,
like. They just got Jahan Dotson like 2 years ago. I don't get it. Like, I get
And I thought
Terry
that was
because
and I thought that was
Terry
one of the
right now is
steals of
probably
the
has way
draft too.
better value. Like, I just I don't get it. I really don't.
it doesn't
Mm-mm.
make sense. It doesn't make sense. And our defense, we thought we were going to try to get Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions. We ended up getting Dan Quinn. I don't mind Dan Quinn as a head coach and what he can do on the defensive side, but we don't have defensive playmakers. Our best players on the defensive side are Jonathan Allen, Duron Payne. We
And
have
that's it.
Bobby Wagner, who's past his prime.
Oh man.
No DBs. We drafted Emmanuel Forbes over Christian Gonzalez. And the last time we saw Emmanuel Forbes going up against AJ Brown, what ended up happening? Over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns in
Yeah.
each game.
Yeah, it's
Well,
bad.
I mean, to kind of get a little bit off of Emmanuel Forbes, AJ Brown was cooking a lot of people last year, so
He was though.
I can't hold that completely against him. AJ Brown cooked last year.
No,
But
but
I wanted Christian
the
Gonzalez
problem is
over Forbes because he was more physical.
I think the problem is that you're putting like how like what like Emmanuel Forwards is like 5'9", like 170 pounds on a freaking 230 freaking tank. Like I just don't get it on an island.
Mm.
Like I just don't get it.
It seems like when we take one step for Commanders fans, we take one step forward, we take 5 steps back. We finally got rid of Ron Rivera. We finally got rid of Dan Snyder, who, in my opinion, is one of, if not the worst owners in football
Yeah, he's one
and
of
in
the worst owners
sports.
ever.
We still have one of the crappiest ass stadiums in FedEx Field. It's still crappy to this day. Don't get me started.
Bro,
And
everything. It's bad. Like the jerseys are bad. Like, no offense, I don't like the jerseys.
they are bad. They're trash. Basura.
Bro,
I mean, come on.
that football field is a graveyard for body parts and ligaments and tendons and all types of stuff.
And it seems like every like wash linebacker just wants to go there. They did it with Thomas Davis Sr. too. Like, oh my god. But
It's a dumpster fire. But for the Eagles, this is a great trade because you get Jahan Dotson. He's going to be their number 3. And to BRF's point, he's going to play more in the slot because of AJ and Devontae. For the Eagles, you got to at least get to the NFC Championship game. As for the Commanders, trust the process? Is that what you're going to do?
It's going to be a long process.
Because you do not have a football player on that team equivalent to a Joel Embiid in the NBA. So yeah, I don't even want to call that a process. I want to call that a journey.
You know what? What I'm gonna have to do? I know DC is for DC is Chocolate City. Fuck, I'm probably gonna have to go to Atlanta and probably go to Magic City. That's what I'm gonna have to do.
Yeah, just go to Disneyland.
I'm gonna have to do something. I promise. Listen, I've been trying my best to cut back on alcohol and all this other stuff. But damn it, after that trade, I had to get me an Angry Orchard.
Well, I'll tell you this though. Hey, I mean, like I said, me being in Georgia, I've never been in that place myself, but I'll just say this: you don't necessarily have to rush down here. You ain't got to let the women. You don't have to come in here and let the women dance your pain away. I'm pretty sure there's other stuff that you could probably do.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel bad for Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. Like I really do. Like Jonathan Allen
press conference last year after that loss to the Giants. Imagine what he's gonna say now.
That was one of my favorite moments of last year when Jonathan Allen just absolutely just snapped. That was one of my favorite moments of the year.
It's unfortunate because I feel like Jonathan Allen is getting like the Derek Brown treatment in Panthers. Like no one's gonna talk about him because of what team they're on, and it's unfortunate.
They're both being wasted.
And it's unfortunate because both of them are elite at the position. And I'm not high on Deron Payne, but he's a very good number 2 defensive tackle. But like, it's just like unfortunate like that it's happening to these players because that defense is just not good around them. And I don't know what Jane Daniels is going to do because one, the O-line is so bad. Yeah, you got Terry, but they barely fucking use him anyway. Like, and like, it's bad in Washington right now.
Oh, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for the fact that we had David Onyemata here, besides Grady Jarrett, I'd be pushing for that Jonathan Allen to Atlanta trade hard, hard. If David Onyemata wasn't here,
I mean, if the Falcons had Jonathan Allen, you guys would probably be elite defense. Like, and you guys were top 10 last year. So,
well, actually, Chad was trying to get Deron Payne. He was advocating for the Falcons to get Deron Payne, but Washington just eventually gave him the money. But to your point, guys, look, Washington, it's just going to be a long ass season for all the wrong reasons, and for Commanders fans, pray for 2025. That's all I'm gonna say.
You guys should be hoping for the number 1 pick. Like,
I hope maybe we'll hopefully draft offensive linemen, some defensive linemen. That's what we need for Washington.
Next year looks like a very, very defensive loaded draft. Next year would not surprise me at all if a defensive player went number 1 overall. It would not shock me next year.
I agree because the quarterbacks are not that good not coming out.
I think the only quarterback coming out that's going to be worthy of the number 1 overall draft pick if he plays well is maybe Carson Beck. But outside of that, it's going to be a defensive draft.
Even that, like Carson Ben's ceiling, it's not great. Like I think it's going to be mostly offensive linemen, mostly defensive, like players in the top 10. Like that's what I
Oh, I
think.
agree. Oh,
Yeah.
I agree too. Like I said, I think it wouldn't shock me if a defensive player went number one overall. It just wouldn't shock me next year.
And honestly, if there's one year that Washington should be bad, it should be this year because you already got Jaden Daniels, so you got him for a couple years, at least for
Exactly.
so.
Yeah, but I'm afraid though. Look what happened with Robert Griffin III. They drafted him number 2 overall, who won a Heisman, and without an offensive line. And my concern with Jaden Daniels, can he survive in the NFL? Because he's barely over 200 pounds.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the only difference with RG3 is that Mike Shanahan made a dumb decision to play him in a playoff game. Like that was stupid, but yeah,
Either Mike Shannon, but RG3 wanted to play as well.
that
And
is
then yeah, but that's the competitor in him, so I can't knock him for that. And then the following year, it was reported that they wanted to change the offense, and RG3 wanted to be a pocket passer like Peyton Manning, and that wasn't going to work.
Oh yeah, hell no.
So Washington, pray for Washington.